Well, since Got to Move Pro Wrestling came back for their latest ChocoPro show, for 164 we only get two matches, and of course, the intensity to find out when that one match we're expecting, which is the four-way no time limit, is still no air. We even got AEW Dynamite with some interesting matches. What we got, we have Bobby Fish taking on Bryan Danielson, Malachi Black versus Dante Martin, and very other things. And also we got New Japan Strong with the second day of Anam Attack, and also going to review a recent event by Yoshi Promotion SEAdLINNG in Korakuen Hall. So let's get started with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with the latest ChocoPro show 164, with only two matches taking place. The first match, we have tag team. Both of them are actually tag team. Apparently, we have Tokiko Kirihara teaming up with Shon Shiru. Now, it's very unusual those two team up eventually, because I know Tokiko normally teams up with Honda, and of course Shon with Sayuri. I don't know if she's still sick or whatever's going on, but we can hope to see her come back, taking on CDK, Masa Takanashi, and of course, as Balinaki like to call, the bastard, Chris Brooks. It was a very intense match. It was some good moments between both teams, especially when it comes to John, who's been on a roll recently ever since in season 9, where he had Masa Takanashi in a good match where he beat him in a very interesting way. But so far, it was Chris Brooks that was able to pull up the victory by taking out Tokiko Kahara and, of course, allowing them to win. But however, the entire match, as you know, Chris Brooks likes to mess around with Mei Suruga, who is in fact was the referee of the match. Basically, they don't like her because, A, they can't stand her, because two, she is one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions, and also for Chris Brooks' eyes, she's annoying. But Mei Suruga had no other choice ever since he had the match won, and that was it. Now, our next match, we have Too Much Energy Chiko Ishikawa teaming up with Sawazdi Kamen, taking on my favorite tag team, the Best Bros, Mei Suruga and Balinaki. Now, this is a very interesting match in my opinion. There is like a bit of a rivalry between both Chiko Ishikawa and Mei Suruga. Now, why you ask me that question? Well, this is the reason why. They both have the similar style. They're both high energy. They basically rely on their speed and everything else. But however, she normally doesn't play well with others, unless if it's her normal tag team partner Hagane Shinoi. But he wasn't booked for this event. But however, in certain points, Sawazde screwed up, and that pissed off Shioki Ishikawa, allowing for the Best Bros to take up the victory with the pinfall. Now, the Giant tournament became shorter because not a lot of people were there, including the helpers. Now, the helpers normally get involved in Janken, but no. Now, in the first round, both the Best Bros were eliminated. So was Chris Brooks, and also, what was his name? Chiko Ishikawa. And it went up to Chon Chiri, who won the tournament itself, winning the chocolate. So basically, it was a pretty good show, but I can't wait to see what the next one is going to be like. Okie dokie. So we have AEW Dynamite on a Saturday. It opened up with CM Punk, as usual, coming out to greet the fans while he's getting ready to go on to commentary team, which is normal. And of course, he likes to interact with the fans, but he wasn't allowed to do the mosh pit, which is, or skydiving, whatever. So it was pretty cool, as always. The opening match was Malachi Black taking on Dante Martin. I have to say, it was a pretty good, impressive match. The way I see it is this: I feel we can say that it was impressive that Malachi went, but I feel Malachi put Dante Martin over in certain aspects. As you can see, Dante Martin is one of the most impressive young wrestlers we have witnessed since he first started coming to AEW during the pandemic, allowing he and his brother to be part of the roster. And I think it showed a lot of character that Dante was willing to take a win, but at the same time, Dante had a Leo Rush by his side, even though it's still unclear what their business arrangement is about. But it would Malachi Black pulled him off with the black mass, pinning him. But something strange has happened. Malachi Black turned back, looked at Dante, and he gave him the nod. Now, there's been rumors circulating about Malachi Black forming a faction called the something with the House of Black. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dante becomes one of those members. But it's still up in the open air about that. It's still no confirmation, but we'll get back to that soon. Now, the Jurassic Express, as you know, they're banged up after what happened last time, where they faced off against the Elite. Christian has had a bad neck, and of course, basically what happened, the Super Elite attacked them out of nowhere. They made Jungle Boy watch while they take down Luchasaurus, or should I say, powerbomb them through a table. So basically, they're taking everybody out as soon as possible. Now, as you all saw with the inner circle, they've been dealing with Lambert, Men of the Year, and American Top Team. Lambert has been talking too much about saying that AEW sucks, that they don't know anything about pro wrestling, and that people are stupid buying in their crap. Jericho is becoming like the voice to say. But however, Lambert is disgusted to know that the fan base in Miami are in their side because they felt that the fans should have supported the American Top Team, knowing that they produced many of their UFC fighters. However, they had other plans. Jericho wanted a 10-man tag team, but Lambert says they're not because the Men of the Year are in business of obtaining gold, and their sights are right now is on the TNT title that currently Sammy Guevara is. But however, Lambert says that they will make that decision next week on their terms. Now, as you know, Lambert will do whatever it takes to prove a point by saying they are the truth people about what pro wrestling is all about. Now, the next match is for the AAA tag team titles. Now, these titles originally are from AAA Lucha Libre, a promotion out of Mexico. The Lucha Brothers have been champions since they beat the Young Bucks about maybe back in 2019. Now, Andrade has been trying to get his hands on the Lucha Brothers to join them, but however, they refuse. But looks like Andrade will not take this likely without them accepting their offer. So he said that he has a couple of friends that are willing to challenge them for those titles. He introduced them to a couple of wrestlers, called themselves the Super Ranas, which means the Super Frogs. Now, I want to be honest with you. Before he said it, Punk said exactly the name of wrestlers underneath the mask. Now, I want to be honest, truthful, and also give you guys my opinion. I knew it was FTR the moment I saw these two. You probably asked me how. Now, take a look at the shoes they were wearing. One of them wears certain wrestling shoes, the boots that they wore. I seen them, and I seen them in WWE, and I knew right from the moment before Punk said it, I knew it was FTR. And I think it was a pretty good, interesting story. Basically, we didn't expect that whatsoever. But Tully Blanchard showed up and cost the Lucha Brothers the AAA tag team titles. Now, this most likely be that we can see FTR head to Mexico to put those tag titles on the line. But we did witness on an interview where they screwed the Lucha Brothers. However, Andrade paid MJF for a loan to give him the opportunity to use FTR to strip of the Lucha Brothers AAA tag team titles. But however, he still has to deal with Pac, and I know Penta and Phoenix are not going to take this lightly, one way or the other. Now, as you as you know, Dante had a good match, but Leo Rush feels that Dante did not listen to him carefully what he was saying, but he did stated that he wants to be tag team partners. Now, this was a very unusual because we know he's a good tag team partner with his brother Darius. But I wouldn't be surprised if down the line Darius comes back and tries to break him away from Leo Rush, you know. So that could be a good story to tell once that day comes. Now our next match, this one is went a little faster, is between Wheeler Yuta being accompanied by Orange Cassidy taking on John Moxley. This match went faster than I did not expect. But I think they're showing a different side of the story. John Moxley's been frustrated for the last couple months ever since Kenny Omega and Don Callis screwed him over the AEW World title. He's doing whatever it takes to get it back. He did have an opportunity in the Casino ladder match, but he failed. Now, as you know, last week we saw Serena Deeb viciously destroyed Hikaru Shida, her chances to become the first woman to win 50 matches. She claims that now that the fun and games are over with the women's division, but however, Hikaru Shida had other things in mind, and she posted it on her Twitter. Revenge. So I wouldn't be surprised that if Hikaru Shida wouldn't wrestle her until that one match to redeem the 50 win that she should have won from Serena Deeb. Now our next match we have is the Super Click, the Young Bucks and Adam Cole taking on Dark Order's Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. This match was set during Rampage in order to give Adam Hangman Page a helping hand because we know that the Elite will do whatever it takes to ensure the AEW title remain in their possession. So the match was pretty good. There was some great moments, especially when they remove Nick Jackson's shoes, and of course his sock, and of course Evil Uno channeled Mick Foley, Mr. Sacco. I thought it was great, but however, there was still no match for the Super Click, allowing themselves to win. However, Jungle Boy showed up to get retribution against the Super Click for what they've done, but as always, they left behind the Stooge, Brandon Cutler, and he ended up in a spare trap. But as the Elite, they just left him there while he's getting himself being tortured to hell. Now, we have seen in recent time that Arn Anderson is still pissed off with Cody for what he did in the second match against Malachi Black. Worried about him while he should have been focused against Malachi Black. This time, instead of taking him to the Nightmare Factory, he decided to take him to his brother's gym, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy down in Austin, Texas. And of course, we had Red Velvet, Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, and of course, Kylie King. All four of them to help him out. So he's trying to refocus him so he can get his A game back. As you know, Cody had the tendency to act like he thinks he's know what he's doing, but he lost focus. Now, as you know, we were supposed to have the match between MJF and Darby Allin, but we saw what happened last time. Darby Allin was attacked by a couple of masked men. It's no secret, it's the pinnacle behind that. In order for MJF to prove a point saying that he has finally broke Darby Allin, he even tried to humiliate him by counting him out, thinking it's going to be official record. He won, but that party was ruined when Sting appeared with a baseball bat, whacked Wardlow while MJF ran like the coward that he is. So it still tells that Sting is not going to tolerate with MJF trying to criticize or mock Darby Allin because, in a way, he's not going to let that stand. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, the Dark Order had a big loss against the Super Click. Anna Jay tried to give her reasons, but of course, Britt Baker, if you guys know, Adam Cole's girlfriend, showed up saying that she sided with a bunch of losers. And of course, Anna Jay is not happy that she's getting herself involved. It doesn't concern her. It wouldn't surprise me if Britt Baker ended up with the Elite. So that would probably would make more sense. But they ended up with the brawl. But now it's official on Rampage. Those two go head to head. Then we have Kira Hogan making her uh, Dynamite debut against Penelope Ford. It was a pretty good match, but however, Penelope Ford got her with the um, cartwheel, caught her, and then that that Foley thing right in her back to force her to tap out. However, she should have watched her back, where Ruby Soho decided to get revenge for what she did on Rampage, sucker punching her with the brass knuckles. And this is far from over between Penelope Ford and Ruby Soho. Now, Miro, on the other hand, he's been asking God why that he no longer has the title. So he's basically going, "Why, God? Why?" That sort of thing. Now, do we see that he could get a chance of a TNT title? Maybe, but it's still unclear what he's planning. I feel like they're gonna try to give him another boost. Maybe go for the AEW World Title. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. Now, Hangman Page, as you know, we haven't seen him since he reappeared at the Casino Ladder match. He did stated that he realized everything that he's lost. He's acknowledging, but the one thing he hasn't lost is being the cowboy shit that he is. So he's gonna bring out cowboy shit. He's realizing that he has a big match coming up in Full Gear, and that's pretty much. And I was expecting Kenny to show up, but I was disappointed because I would have expected Kenny to show up saying, "You're not gonna win because you're always a failure." But I don't know why that hasn't happened. But hopefully they put that next week or something. I don't know. Now our next match we have is Bobby Fish versus Brian Danielson. These guys have known each other very well. Their styles are similar. I have to say it was a pretty good match. It was like very amazing. These guys are technical. They're very more of the striking, kicking techniques. But however, Brian put him in this crazy leg lock, forcing him to tap out. I think this is a pretty good match to watch. And of course, the show did not end right there. As you know, we've been expecting for the AEW World Title Eliminator. It's already been announced who's going to be involved. 10 of the Dark Order: Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Dustin Rhodes, Bryan Danielson, Lance Archer, and Eddie Kingston. Now it's already been revealed that the first rounds will begin this coming Friday on Rampage. I'm excited. Hope you guys excited. And the first matches will be Powerhouse Hobbs versus Orange Cassidy. That's going to be killer, but let's just wait and see next week. And let's move on with the next review. Okay, so this is the second day of New Japan Strong with Anam Attack. The first match is still part of the Alex Coughlin challenge. This time he's facing off Dirty Daddy himself, Chris Dickinson. I have to say, this was a very impressive match. The way I see it, as you know, Alex Coughlin is most likely one of the Lions that could graduate in the following months or so. That depends. So he requested this match against Chris Dickinson. He put some amazing chops. But however, Chris Dickinson is a far more capable wrestler than him. And of course, he tapped out by a submission thanks to Dirty Daddy himself, Chris Dickinson. But at the same time, the Alex Coughlin got respect from him. Basically, it's not easy to get a respect from a man like him, but it showed how Alex Coughlin, even though he is facing the best wrestlers he can find for a challenge, and this is one of those respects that he deserved. Our next match is tag team action. We have the Mega Coaches, Rocky Romero and Ryusuke Taguchi, taking on the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Royce Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson. It was a very impressive match because if you guys know, the Mega Coaches like to have a little fun, but these two guys are veterans in their own right. They teamed up in recent time, but now they put themselves in a test with a team who has been the tag team longer than them. And I think this showed how the Mega Coaches, despite the fact they were from two different backgrounds, that they're willing to work together no matter what. Now, you would have assumed the West Coast Wrecking Crew would have won. No, but it was Rocky who pulled off the miracle allowing himself to win the match. And I thought it was pretty amazing. Now, our next match is an 8-man tag team match. We got Bullet Club, Chris Bay, Hikuleo, El Fantasma, and of course Taiji Shimuri taking on TJP, Clark Connors, Leo Rush, and of course the flamboyant Juice Robinson, and he brought himself a cowbell because he's going to challenge Hikuleo in a bull ropes match. The match was pretty good. It was very impressive, some great moments, but however, it ended in disqualification, all thanks to Hikuleo allowing for TJP, Connors, Rush, and Leo and Juice to win the match. So basically, right now, this bull ropes match is gonna happen. I can't wait to see when it's gonna be. Now, our next match, our main event, is uh, Carl Fredericks taking on Will Ospreay. This match was set because ever since Will Ospreay made his appearance in LA in the US, he believes that the LA Dojo guys are just going to screw up since he's not willing to go back to Japan due to the fact that he was stripped from the title, but he is declaring himself the real IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, even though he's not. But he claims that Shingo is the interim. But I have to say the match was very impressive. It showed Carl Fredericks that he was not willing to go down without a fight, but however, it showed a lot of skill that Will Ospreay is willing to show that he is the unstoppable, the kingpin, that this is his empire, that he's going to rule the world, and that's exactly what he did. However, he decided to continue the beat down on Fredericks, and then here comes Connors and TJP. But however, Will Ospreay had something up his sleeve. It turned out he had a new member, and I mentioned him before in the news updates. TJP turned his back on Clark Connors, and the LA Dojo sided with the United Empire. So basically, this is now becoming a bit of a issue. As you know, Will Ospreay believes that the LA Dojo guys are going to screw up the uh, New Japan Strong. But we'll see what happens. This is far from over, and I know Clark Connors is not going to back down. He will probably get his payback against TJP. And if I was Shibata, I would train these guys harder if you want to deal with Will Ospreay. Okay, it's been who knows how long I reviewed a SEAdLINNG event. It's been a while, but I'm glad that they posted this one I can watch. This one is in at the Tokyo Korakuen Hall, infamous venue for wrestling shows. You've probably seen it a bunch of times with New Japan, All Japan, and a few other wrestlers. It was great. The first match we had is Riko Kaiju taking on Dash Shizako. Now, Kaiju, she's a bit of a wild card in her faction of Las Frescas Ogaistas. Basically, she wanted the how do I say challenge Dash, but you know the old saying, be careful what you wish for. Now, Kaiju was a bit more reckless, but however, Dash knew right from the start the way she's behaved, and of course, Dash used that against her, and that also allowed her to win the match. But however, the real question remains: will Kaiju stop being reckless and just be a wrestler as she's supposed to be? Well, that's the real question that she has to figure out on her own. The next match is a high speed three-way match with the special referee, Momome Nakanashi. This is a really fun match. Reason I say this: I have seen many high speed matches where, of course, the ref, who's a female, gets involved. And that shows a lot of fun. In this particular match, we have Akira, who I've seen at Ice Ribbon, and of course, Pure J, and of course, Got to Move, versus Meishruga versus Leon. I think this is a fun match. As you know, I've seen Meishruga, who I like to call the the little slide devil, but of course, people call her the Goblin. Even with her, her evil ways don't work that much. even though Nakanishi, she was having a little fun with the match. I think it was pretty good, but Leon was the one who was able to pick up the victory, despite the fact that Nakanishi did not like her. But it ended up in her results. Our next match is a 8-woman tag team match. We have Riko Kawahara, Izuki Aoki, Rina Yamashita, and Yumi, uh, Yumiko Hoda taking on Las Frescas de Ogaistas, Riko Kaiju, Asuka, and Makoto teaming up with Yuna Namaste. It was a very interesting match. As you know, Asuka has been one of the most, how to say, rising stars in the Yoshi world. If you guys ever seen her, now, I'm not talking about Asuka from WWE. I'm talking about this one. She also was known as Venny in AEW. But however, it was Rina Yamashita who pinned Riko Kaiju for the win. But Asuka will not take this lightly with this loss. So basically, she wants a piece of Yomiko, one way or the other. Our next match is a tag team match. We got you, who I mentioned once before on News Update, teaming with the one male wrestler who just came around, veteran Masato Tanaka, taking on the current tag team champions, but not in a non-title match. Hiroyo Yamatsumoto, as we know her, the Destroyer, and of course the founder of SEAdLINNG, Nanane Takanashi. It was a pretty good match. I think it was a very impressive because it showed how the both Matsumoto and Takahashi are willing to coexist no matter what. But it was, of course, the Destroyer Matsumoto who picked up the victory and showed she is still the Destroyer. Our main event was, of course, Hanako Nakamori taking on Arisa Nakajima. It was a pretty intense match between them. It appears like they don't like each other, but however, somehow Nakamori was able to pick up a very fast victory, allowing himself to win. And I think this rivalry is now taking a different turn between them, from what I can tell. But I think that's pretty much it right now with the reviews. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed me reviewing these events. The present time and of course past events that took place either recent or months ago. I enjoy doing that for all of you guys. So coming up, we got more of Got to Move's ChocoPro stuff. We got, hopefully I get to review Warrior Wrestling with Sweet 16, and of course an event I never heard of, a show of promotion I never heard of. It's called Cape Championship Wrestling, or CCW. This is part of their anniversary show that took place at the end of July, and if I'm able to see it, then I'll do that. But also stay tuned for more of my podcast, where I'm going to be talking mostly about the Cosmic Angels, and also giving much my thoughts about SEAdLINNG Wrestling, because it's pretty good promotion. I think this one kind of made me enjoy it more. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang!